I'm going to show you several different ways that Makita has been living off of their name while not providing the durability and quality that most of us have come to expect from such a good name brand. And we're going to do that by comparing it to a low-end subcompact Gen 1 rigid and a compact Milwaukee. As you can see, this Makita comes from their LXT line. It is the XDT13. First thing I always look at are the screws that are used to hold it together. You can see Phillips head screws. That's a cost-saving measure. The rigid, those are T15s. The Milwaukee also has T15s. Now watch the play on this trigger. You can see there's quite a bit. That could be a pinch point, also a weak point. There is a lot of play in that trigger. There is no play in the rigid or the Milwaukee. When you open up the Makita, the first thing that stuck out to me is they've got a fuse in there. If that blows, the tool's useless. Now, the housing for the bellows, very nice. It will keep dust out of there. The wiring around the motor, exceptionally small, meaning very low power. And the wires that go through here, while all grouped together nice, are very thin, meaning it can't carry the current if you need it. The biggest drawback with this tool will be voltage drop and a fuse that might blow. If you want a tool that'll last you and do the job well, avoid this one. Where the Makita had 9 screws holding it together, that's how many the rigid had. It had 15 screws. The rigid also has a ribbon going up to the bellows, and you can see the bellows, just like the Makita, has dust protection in it. The wires in the rigid are actually thicker than the Makita, and the wires around the motor are the same thickness as the Makita. But there is no fuse to pop in this one, and overall, the wiring, the way it's put together, is superior. So even the build quality on the lowest end rigid is higher than the LXT Makita. And the rigid, well, it costs a lot less. Now, when you open the Milwaukee, there's a completely different world going on here. First, the bellows. As you can see, it does not have that protective dust shroud around it. However, if you look at the protection that they did for the motherboard, it's running a ribbon up there. That's going to, if there's water or corrosion in there, it's going to protect the tool. The wiring that goes into it, also more robust than the Makita. And yes, even around the motor, more robust. So in terms of build quality, you gotta give it to the TTI group, both rigid and Milwaukee, way over.